Hey guys, welcome back. Brandon and Ethan here again to discuss MLB offseason stuff. Obviously, it's going to be a long winter. There's a lot of top free agents that are going to be available for teams to pursue. And one big name that's going to hit the free agent market or that has hit the free agent market is Teoscar Hernandez.
What a season it's been for the Dodgers in general, let me say. I'm gonna clap it up for the Dodgers, as Brandon and I will say, we're New Jersey, New York natives, and probably neither of us were rooting for the Yankees, as we're fans of different teams, but even being, near the New York area, the Yankees have won so many times, and I was rooting for the Dodgers, but let's talk Teoscar Hernandez, somebody who's now a free agent, and the wind can take him in many different directions. And a lot of different news sources are saying, well, he could go to the Red Sox, he could go to the Cubs. Brandon, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously he's an outfielder first and foremost, so there's going to be teams that, don't have as big of a need in the outfield, whether it's just prospects or just they already have established starters there. But the thing about him is that everyone can use a bat like Teoscar Hernandez. He was an all-star again in 2024 after a couple of mediocre years at the end of his American League tenure. But he really sort of came alive with the Dodgers. Obviously he got to hit behind three Hall of Famers at the top of their lineup in Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman. So obviously that helped him quite a bit being able to hit in the middle of that order. But he's gonna get a lot of money in free agency from a team that needs a right-handed power bat, a guy who's hit 25 plus home runs in four consecutive seasons. He's a really talented player. He's not so great with the glove. He could very easily be sort of turned into like a full-time DH. Towards the end of his next contract. He's already 31, I believe. Or 32, but he's a really consistent bat. He's got a lot of power. And for a team that every team needs a bat like his, but for a team especially that needs, a right-handed bat, a power bat, especially in the outfield, I mean, he's as good of a fit as there is right now on the free agent market.
I'll put it like this too. We always kind of play the age card, not in a bad way, but pointing out, he's 31, 32 years old, but he's kind of, he's a veteran player at this point. He's been in the MLB since 2016, and he's now got another win. He's got a win with the Dodgers under his belt. He's a very kind of highly sought after player right now. I think being a free agent, I think he at least is seeing dollar signs saying, "Look, I got a World Series ring on my finger, show me the contract." I think he made the right decision becoming a free agent and not taking another contract. And now it's just a matter of time to pick the team where he wants to, not pick the team where he wants to go, but kind of say, okay, what's the next move?
Yeah, I mean, it's worth pointing out before we get into some specifics with his fits for certain teams. All of his stats again increased in 2024. His home run rate increased, his strikeout rate decreased, his walk rate increased. Again, that's a function of hitting in such a stacked lineup with so many talented players ahead of him and behind him. And he won't have that luxury if he leaves the Dodgers, which he may not. But again, it's a guy who consistently has had really strong seasons. Even his down years, last year, 2023, was considered to be kind of his worst year in like half a decade. And he still hit, 26 home runs. He still had an OPS above 740. I mean, he's a guy that even if he's not, producing at his highest level, which again, he may not as he ages deeper into his 30s, he's still clearly a very capable bat that every team can use.
And I always love to play devil's advocate as one does in the sports journalism world. It's not all sunshines and rainbows when it comes to Teoscar Hernandez. Like Brandon said, he's not amazing with the glove. I think when you see people who are, the power hitting combo, he's not amazing with the glove when he's in left field, and he's not really a speedy guy. It's similar to Cody Bellinger. It's similar to I'm trying to think of somebody else like Gunnar Henderson. It's kind of their weakness. They can drive home runs, but when it comes to getting a single or a double, they really, they can't produce speed. So it's not he's not a golden player per se, but again, he has that World Series win under his belt from 2024, which makes him a very valuable player right now.
Yeah, and so I think that's a good transition for the Cubs. Obviously, big story right now in Cubs world is Cody Bellinger's opted into his contract, so the outfield's filled. Ian Happ's in left field, Pete Armstrong's in center field. Cody Bellinger's probably going to be in right field, which means Seiya Suzuki's going to probably be at DH. So the need in the outfield is far from there. There's plenty of need elsewhere. They need a catcher for sure. Depending on how they feel about Isaac Paredes, they need a third baseman. Um, and I guess the reason why I think Teoscar Hernandez could make sense for the Cubs, even though they obviously don't have a need in the outfield, is they need a good power bat in the middle of the lineup. The Cubs have just not been hitting enough home runs. I mean, anyone who's been watching the Cubs will tell you they need a power bat in the lineup. Obviously, Owen Casey's coming up through the minor league system. Moises Ballesteros is coming up through the minor league system. But like again, those guys are young prospects. We don't know if they're gonna be hitting 30 plus home runs as soon as they arrive. Teoscar Hernandez is hitting 30 plus home runs. And so could they make the signing for him? Could they make the expenditure, sign Teoscar Hernandez, and then turn around and trade Cody Bellinger for a catcher to pair with Miguel Amaya? Could they trade Seiya Suzuki and free up that DH spot? I think that would make a lot of sense. I think that again, Jed Hoyer's sort of managing for his job this offseason. I mean, again, the Cubs have been really disappointing the last few years. And it wouldn't surprise me. It won't be their top need, but if Teoscar Hernandez's market doesn't develop the way that he's hoping, it wouldn't surprise me if the Cubs sort of saw a way to kill, two birds with one stone by signing Hernandez and then trading someone else away for another need.
Again, it's the argument of, this past 2024 season when Cody Bellinger went out, we got in Pete Crow Armstrong, which he played a little bit in the 2023 season, and he earned a little bit of his stripes. But now in our 2024 season, with a set lineup already of guys who have already all played, if we get another injury, we only have prospects to bring up. So again, like Brandon is saying, I think it's a no-brainer to already have a veteran player like Teoscar Hernandez kind of fill in that spot. You know, I'm knocking on wood here. I don't want more injuries in the 2025 season, but if that happens, I'd rather have a veteran player come in and say, okay, I'm going to step up to the plate, no pun intended, and take over here rather than more prospects. I'm all for prospects. I think they are a great asset to any team, whether it's baseball, football, whatever. But it's just not the time for the Cubs. It's really not. We did it in 2024. I think in 2025 we need a change of pace.